All right. Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Gonna give it a minute or two. This is a presentation of the top 10 success skills that anyone should look to have, specifically for a client of mine that I promised I would do it for so that they could share it. It's something that we had gone through a little while back, felt that it was helpful, and so hopefully it's helpful to some of you out there. Again, top 10 success skills that everybody should look to have. And just in a quick moment here, we'll go ahead and kick off with that. So, welcome everybody to this quick presentation of sharing the top 10 successful skills that anyone should look to have. And it's brought to you here by me here at coachingtoresults.com with me, Hugh Jensen, the principal coach here. And these are going to be the top 10 success skills, top 10 success skills. And we're going to start out with skill number one. Skill number one of the top 10 success skills is goal setting. So your goals are your roadmap. They're the compass, and without a goal, it's hard to know where you're going. It's hard to know what you're working on. It's really hard to know when you've succeeded, and you'll always start by setting a well-defined goal and, if possible, give it a deadline. And so there are SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So there's certain goal training, but if you don't have a goal, it's very difficult to know where you're going, and it certainly is very difficult to tell when you get there, right? So goal setting is one of the top 10. The next, decision making. Decision making. A big part of being successful is making the right decisions. It's what path should you take? What should you work on next? How should you triage your time and your life? Those are important choices that influence all aspects of your life. Get comfortable making decisions and learn what you do, and what you pick to do and what you choose to do are 100% within your control, but they're also the things that determine your successes down the road. So get good at making timely decisions. Practice and experience are great teachers. So as you make decisions, you'll get better at making decisions, but avoiding making any decisions is absolutely not the right path. So decision making is number 2. Third, time management. Time management. Time is our most limited resource. It's the only thing you can't get more of. You can't buy it, you can't beg it, you can't steal. There's only a limited amount that you're going to get. And when you start, you don't know how much you're going to get. So you never know when the end is there. Not to be too drab, but to make the most of it, we got to get really good at prioritizing. So we talked a little bit earlier about decision making and time, and time management is really what it's really all about. Whether you use time blocking, whether you use a calendar, flowcharts, maps, or time mapping, it's deciding what's the most important thing for you to do next will have the biggest impact on you. So the most common thing that makes a difference between someone like the typical person and an Elon Musk or a Steve Jobs or a Warren Buffett or Bill Gates is that they have the same 168 hours in a week that you have, but they've just become really good at managing your time. And so whether it's time blocking, where you have specific time that you have set out for everything that you do, or however you choose to do it, lists, mind maps, make sure that you own your time or your time will own you. And if you're not tracking your time, meaning you have no idea how you're using your time, you're going to find that you're going to waste your time. So take the time to really get control and get an idea of how you're using your time. I think you'll be very surprised. I've done a training called the Rule of 168, where people track for a week exactly how they're using their time, and they're very surprised, very, very surprised at how much time they're wasting that they had no idea because they weren't really tracking their time. So it's deciding what's the most important and what will have the biggest impact, and then you figure out how to make it happen and how to make the most effective use of your time. And again, knowing how you're using your time currently is the best step to figuring out how to use your time better going forward. Makes sense? Organization. If you're unorganized, it's hard to figure out what needs to happen next. It's also a huge time waster to look around to pull together bits and pieces, make getting and staying organized a priority in your life. Because here's the thing, we talked about time management, we talked about organization, we talked about decision making, we talked about goal setting. If you're not organized, you can't really do any of that, right? Because you don't know where things are. You don't know. I mean, if you spend all day looking for your phone and your car keys, you're wasting that time that you could be doing taking action, right? So Make sure that you're organized, that you've got a system. It's going to help your decision making. It's going to help your time management. It's going to help your goal setting. So really, organization is a big key factor there. The next can be focus. Our world is full of distractions. Being able to tune everything else out and work specifically on one task at a time is extremely important. And that's what focus is all about. Lots of research has been done. We think we're great multitaskers. We're not. We're not. If we can get something done in 15 minutes, if we're multitasking, it's going to take us 4 times as long. So we're getting 1/4 of 4 different things done within the same amount of time. We could get 1/4 of that time to get one thing done, which means we could get all those things done in the same amount of time that we're getting 1/4 of it done. Now, I know I said that really fast, but the point is we're not great at multitasking. And as good as you think you are at multitasking, you're just not. Think about the last conversation you had where you really wanted someone to focus on you and they were multitasking. They were typing, maybe looking at their phone, all kinds of things. Was that the best conversation you ever had? Did you get a lot accomplished? Did you have to repeat yourself a lot? Did you have to catch that person up? So focus. If you can find the ability to laser focus on the things that are important to you, you're more likely to get them. You tend to go exactly where you're looking, and if you're distracted, you're not going to be very clear on what you're trying to get accomplished. Discipline. Discipline is number 6. Discipline has become a bit of a bad word. What this skill is really about is persistence. You have to work hard towards your goals on a regular basis. You have to do something to move you forward and towards them every single day. So it's more like consistency and commitment is the discipline aspect of the word discipline here. So it's gotten a really bad rap, but what we know is if you're not disciplined and you're not consistent, no matter what changes or what things you implement in your life, will they be as successful as if you're able to focus on them and be disciplined? A lot of people think that inspiration, they're waiting for inspiration to come, or inspiration just sort of comes about. Inspiration does not just come about. It takes you being motivated, for a minute or two, or for however long it takes for you to actually take your first step. It's the discipline and follow through that allows you to truly find your success. So be disciplined. Be disciplined. This next one is extremely important. Effective communication. We work with other people. We deal with coworkers, customers, friends, family members. Being able to communicate effectively, both when speaking and in writing, helps us work better together and more efficiently. Clear communication also prevents misunderstandings, which can be a drain on time and energy. I know we're a big fan of texting, and we like to often just send things out, but there's nothing, if you don't do that effectively, it creates issues. But more importantly, if you're not clear in your messaging, whether it's verbal or whether it's text message or email or whatnot, you're just wasting resources, and you're also burning relationships. You're spending more time getting things done that should have been done much quicker. Sometimes we text when we should pick up the phone. So a couple things. Think about what is the best method of communication, and then is this the type of communication that takes the right tone, that takes me making sure that the tone is correct or that the messaging isn't lost. And that's a time where maybe it's face to face, either physically or something like this, where you can see both parties. Obviously, this is one way, but there are two-way video chats like Zoom and lots of things out there where you can chat back and forth, FaceTime, Marco Polo, lots of different apps where if it's really important that the inflection, the facial tone, everything is important, then make sure that effective communication is there, and really think about how important communication is in your organization to get things done. The next, networking. So success will come much faster if you're able to leverage other people around you and network so that the group of people around you, you can get feedback, advice, and support. You've heard this term many times, success leaves clues. So finding people who've been down the road that you've been down before and asking them for help and networking with them for help is probably the key to you getting to where you want to go faster. And when you run into very difficult situations, which we've all done it. I mean, I certainly have. Finding those people who have the expertise that maybe you lack or that you're not quite as polished on is absolutely crucial to your success, and avoiding setbacks being devastating versus just maybe learning lessons or things that you can do. So they can help you avoid mistakes and get you in touch with others, extend your network to other people and like people. So, they talk about your network. Your network is your net worth. And then there's also, you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with. Whichever you choose to go with, recognize that there is a value in putting yourself around the right people so that the best things can happen to you. Number 9, love this one, positivity. Staying positive seems like such an ethereal concept. It seems kind of woo-woo, but Being able to keep up a good attitude has a big impact on your overall success and your quality of life. You'll have more fun and stay more motivated when you can tap into the positivity. And the hard part is, or the skill really is, when you lose your positivity, how to go find it, right? Look for the good in anything that happens on the success on your journey, and your success will be significantly better. And by that meaning, if you're always looking for the negative, you're going to repel the type of people that you really want in your world. You want to look for the positive. There's always a learning lesson. There's a challenge, whether it's, no is not the answer you're looking for, but you got to get a certain number of no's before you find yes, right? So always look for the positive side. Not to mention, think about all the people you know in your life that are positive, the people who smile by nature. You want to be around them. Those are the people that you're drawn to. And the people who have the ability to always have a solution, those are the people that you're drawn to. And so that is what you should be attracted to as a trait for yourself. So number 9 is positivity. If I were to reorder this, I'd probably put 1, positivity, because sometimes it's very tough to see the positive in a situation, but your ability to do it is going to be a big key factor in your success. Patience. Oh, patience. Patience, patience, patience. Boy, is that not a struggle sometimes to find patience, right? Last but not least, you need to embrace patience. Success doesn't happen overnight. You have to be in whatever you're doing for the long run. You have to be in it for the long run. You have to learn to be patient and celebrate your little successes along the way. So sometimes we want the huge success. We want the end game. And what we really need to do is realize that each incremental step and those successes are what get us there. And those sometimes are the ways that we can sort of trick ourselves into patience, right? Into having the patience. So in summarizing, what we've got here in the top 10 success skills that everyone should look to have. Number 1, again, was goal setting. The importance of goal setting, clear, defined goals, broken into chunks with strategies on how to achieve those goals. We want them to be SMART goals, right? They're going to be something that's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable or attainable, it's realistic, and it's time bound or time sensitive. You want to be able to make decisions. Got to be a decision maker. You got to be able to jump in and make decisions. Jump in and make decisions. Jump in and even if it's a bad decision, even if it's not what you want to make, but a decision needs to be made, you got to jump in. You got to make the decision. So number 3, time management. Know what you're doing with your time. If you don't know how your time is being used, I guarantee you're losing more of it than you'd think. Whether it's just spacing off or watching your favorite program or binge watching or surfing the net, manage your time and put things into time blocks and try to be very, very dedicated and to have dedication and discipline to manage your time. And what you'll find is you'll start doing more of the things you want to do because they'll be planned, and less of the things that you think you shouldn't do a ton of, like just spacing out or surfing the internet. Organization. Having an order to what you do and where things are and how things work is so important in your life, because it just cuts out the wasted time in you trying to figure out what the next thing is or where something is or how something works. So organization in your organization, whether you're self-employed, working for others, running a business, running someone else's business, that organization and knowing where things are is extremely important. So, and knowing it also helps you with the time management and the decision making. Focus. Just remember, research is consistently coming back that says that multitasking doesn't work. We'd like to think that it's effective. It's functional, but it's not optimal. And your real key is to figure out the best way to use your resources to get the maximum return. That's just not by multitasking. So learn how to focus, and being able to tune other things out is crucial. And figure out what that is for you, because it's different for everybody. Discipline. Again, discipline in this case, it's not the bad word kind of discipline, but it's persistence. It's grit. Jack and Susie Welch focused on 2 terms that they felt was kind of an esoteric thing that really high achieving people had, and it was grit and gravitas. Grit and gravitas. Grit and gravitas. And that really has to do with discipline, right? Your stick-to-itiveness. You bite into something and you hold on to it and you fight it through, and you're consistent. 7, effective communication. Can't overemphasize how important great communication is. If you can communicate effectively, both verbally and writing, man, you can accomplish amazing things. You can build incredible relationships. You can also solve problems. You can help others solve problems, and your ability to just sort of get in there. And remember, communication is not just about the talking part, it's about the listening part. It's about being good at asking questions, but great at listening for the answers, and then knowing what to say next. So don't underestimate how important communication, how well you are at it, and the type of communication. Some things need to be said face to face. A text won't work, an email won't work. And knowing when those are and knowing when to step it to the next level are extremely important. Networking. We talked about how your network is your net worth, or you're the average of the 5, 7, 8, 10 people that you hang out with, who, whatever overused probably an analogy that you've heard. But the truth of the matter is, when you find yourself surrounded by the best people, you'll have the best resources available to have the best results. So really be conscious about the type of people that you're putting yourself around and that you're choosing to be around, whether that's from a positivity perspective, a knowledge perspective, expertise perspective. Where you want to go is probably the type of people you want to be around, right? And conversely, if you're not going the direction you want to go, check around you and make sure that it's not because you're surrounding yourself with the wrong network. Positivity. I love people who are just naturally positive. They always see the positive in everything that's going on in the world. And it's tough. It's tough because sometimes your outward face is like positive, 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 and then some personal things and challenges go on in your life, and it's very hard to see the positive. Guilty myself. But always be that person who's looking for the solution and not the person who's always pointing out the problem, right? Because all problems have solutions, even if they're hard to find. And sometimes you have to reach out to the important people in your life, or the people in that network we talked about, and see if they've got an idea that you just haven't thought of. Because none of us are as smart as all of us. So put yourself around the right people. Be honest. Be ethical. Be passionate. Give as much as you take. You give more than you take, and the right people should really enjoy being in your circle. And then last but not least, patience. Patience. Have the patience to recognize that you're not going to achieve every goal immediately. You're not going to achieve every single goal the day after you start it, right? So I've got a couple of great quotes that I really enjoy. One is, do something today that your future self will thank you for. And the other one is Jim Rohn quote, which is, you can't change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. Meaning, if you're not happy with where you are, you absolutely today, this moment, can choose to start heading in a different direction. So again, do something today that your future self will thank you for. And that means doing some self-reflection and really determining what it is that you want to do in your life. Then do that. Again, real quick, goal setting, decision-making, time management, organization, focus, discipline, meaning commitment and follow through, effective communication, networking, positivity, and patience are what we've identified as the top 10 skill sets to have for successful people. Thank you so much for this. Kelly, hope you enjoyed me putting this out here for you to share as you requested. And my name is Hugh Jensen at coaching2results.com. And thank you for allowing me to try out this new method of streaming to you. Take care. Bye.